The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the participants and do not reflect the views of BronxNet or the program underwriters.
BronxNet. Your voice, your views, your vision.
It's the hidden reality of many children in Africa. On this episode of Perspectives, we explore the harsh facts that many children are facing in this very age. Our guest in studio will share her story and explore options of how us right here in America can make a difference in the lives of millions of children in Africa. Stay tuned, you're watching Perspectives with yours truly, Darren Jaime.
What's on your mind?
Let 'em know.
What's on your mind? What's on your mind?
Anything relevant to life, you bring it to the table. Whether you make a move solo or a movement with a stable. No fables, you speak on your decisions. Cause in the long run, it's your voice, your views, your vision. Keeping it real with many messages for you to know. This ain't radio, but DJ runs the show. Entertainment, he rocks it. Politics, he locks it. The host with the most would handle any topic. Don't forget to share your perspective which shines a light. Cause it might make a difference in someone else's life.
Make a difference.
What's your perspective?
Express what's in your heart and your mind. Share your perspective.
What's your perspective? Let 'em know.
And hello, you're watching Perspectives with yours truly, Darren Jaime. Our guest has been involved with child welfare programs since 1999, including working with local lawmakers in order to eradicate the old practice of child beggars and child labor abuse in Senegal. She's rescued kids from the street and worked with them in reuniting them with their parents, also setting up safe environments for the continuation of their education. Today, she's here to shed light with us on a daunting reality. Ms. Binta Diop is here, and she is the executive director of the Samatata Foundation. And thank you for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you very much.
We talk a lot about things that are going on across the world, and we can pay attention to what's happening in Afghanistan, Iraq. We know the latest that's going on in Libya, but the situation in Africa, as we know it, has been prevalent for quite a long time. And for those people who may not be familiar, Africa has gone through its own set of atrocities, particularly Senegal. And why don't you share a little?
Yes, I would like to thank you first for having us, but also allowing us to have a voice, but also to be a voice for the children. The situation for the children in Africa is very complex, and it always has been covered up in a sense, but also the African citizens themselves has failed in many ways of trying to come up with effective solutions. And that's where the Samatata Foundations, which I am the executive director, we have decided to come over and try to represent that child welfare programs that are missing in Africa at this point of time. One of the most important areas where we work with the children is the campaign to end child labor and child begging, especially in Senegal, West Africa. Senegal is fairly a small country, but any given day, you can find up to 100,000 children begging on the streets. And these children are as young as, sometimes you will find 5 years old, but mostly they are as young as 7 years old of age.
And when we're talking about begging, what kind of begging are they doing?
Okay, now the begging, it's usually at the beginning it didn't start as begging. So we have different types of begging that you can find. First of all, you can find a child that will be going to school, Quranic school. And what will happen is because of their parents are so poor, the parents cannot provide for the child's food or clothing, no shelter. So these children are sent to a school that we call Dara, and it's like a I don't know how you would say it in English, but it's more like a convent where they will stay there to learn the Quran and just study. Now, because the teachers don't have enough money to feed hundreds or 200 children, these children supposedly has to go on mealtime at lunchtime and get food from the neighbors to come back and study. But because people has gained so much sympathy with them, it ended up being a source of generation of income for the teacher. Now the begging has changed from going to get your meal at lunchtime to begging 12-hour shift and get cash or soap or rice for the teacher who then will resell it. So we have different types of beggings that they do. Some of them will go and work to earn money so they can bring it back to the teacher.
Pretty interesting to know, because I think sometimes we see so many different images of Africa. We know about, the Africa that is flourishing. We know about things that are going well in certain parts, but yet and still there's a whole lot that sometimes we're not so familiar with. And so to know about the child begging, what else, because I know it's more than just begging. The children are being put into unfair labor.
Yes. And just to go back to what you were just saying now, I would say maybe 20 years ago, these children were practically invisible, because it has been going on for so long that even the African citizens has been comfortable with the situation. So it didn't really shock nobody. But I would have to give credit to the African governments. They have recently passed laws back in 2010. In Senegal, we have made it illegal for the children to beg on the main roads, but it's just on the main road. So it's a step, it's a small step, but it's still a step that we need to commend them for that. But now the other thing is that sometimes, like you said, because the begging has been reprimanded in a way, if not in action, but by law, now you see them taking other turns. Now what we see is that these children, because they have to come with a quarter. Now you see a 7-year-old child that a teacher will tell them, by the end of the day you have to come up with $5. And he goes outside, 2-3 doors down, he couldn't get that $5. Somebody will come and tell them, well, I'll take you to the hotel and I'll give you $10. That's like almost 2 days off of work for that child. And that's sexual abuse that we see over there. Sometimes you see that they're being abused in the household where they go to beg and somebody will tell them, well, you come and sit down with me, help me clean up my house, you do the laundry, wash the dishes, maybe sometimes I'll send you some errands. So a whole 12-hour shift and he gets $2 or $3 off of that. So those are the type of abuse you see. Sometimes drug trafficking. They used to smuggle drugs, 7 years old, because people gain sympathy to them, so they use them in different kind of ways to smuggle drugs and stuff.
I want to ask you about your organization, because knowing this is going on, this is what prompted you to really start your organization. Share for those who may just be becoming familiar with the Samatata Foundation and what the foundation is representing.
Yes, thank you. So the Samatata Foundation has been a dream of mine since I was 9 years old. I can remember trying to get them from the streets, trying to befriend them, because I grew up, some of them, we grew up together. So they will come to my house every lunchtime, get lunch, and I would just see myself trying to befriend them or share my toys with them. Sometimes we'll take them, wash them up real nice, and we go to the thrift store, get some clothes for them and dress them up, me and my dad, and then we'll, get them a wristwatch or something like that and let them go back. So when I came to the US, then I had to experience quality education. And I didn't have to beg. I didn't have to demean myself, like diminish myself or maybe humiliate myself to really go to education. Then I really realized that it's just a basic right that these children has to have. And with the help of some people, like some of my colleagues and my friends, we've decided to come up with the foundation. It has been going on informally since 1999 with Nailul Maram in Senegal, but we try to formalize it. And what we do is we try to raise awareness about this issue, child begging and forced labor, not only in Africa, but if you go to Asia, to Europe, even here in the United States, you will see that. Maybe we call it something else, but the practice is still the same. So what we try to do is we try to go to the UN, talk to the presidents, talk to the lawmakers, and try to establish strong welfare systems and foster care systems where they don't have nothing. Now, it's very difficult at first, but we're getting there.
I want to talk to you about that, get the elected officials in and involved because they seem to be overburdened with a whole bunch of stuff. Have you been able to get their attention? We're going to talk about that when we return. Got to take a quick break, but when we come back, we'll talk more about the Samatata Foundation and the work that they're doing to try to save children when we return right here on Perspectives.
What's on your mind?
There's a principle in economics called the multiplier theory, and it talks about how many of the dollars that are initially spent by BronxNet, that is how much of the budget of BronxNet, goes out into the community and gets respent and impacts the community as a whole. That number at BronxNet is about 3 times the budget of BronxNet. There's also a more important plus factor in terms of economic development. And many of the shows that exist in BronxNet about health, about culture, about jobs, discussions about new retail clusters. They cause residents of the Bronx to go to those organizations. They cause residents of the Bronx to spend money at those organizations. They cause people in the Bronx to be employed by those organizations. In addition to that, BronxNet trains a tremendous amount of people, 17,000 interns over the last 10 years or so, another 4,000 people in its training program over the last 6 years, and dozens of former BronxNet interns at ABC, CBS, NBC, and other organizations like that.
Voice your support to keep the channels open and strong. Online, visit bronxnet.org and click on Support Public Access Television and sign the letter to your local representatives.
I remember how much you said you liked mine.
Oh,
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of siblings in foster care who'll take you just as you are.
Be free. Nice, Dad. Nice, Dad. Nice.
Charles!
Nice, Dad.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of siblings in foster care who'll take you just as you are.
On your decisions, because in the long run, it's your voice, your views,
And back here
your
on
vision.
Perspectives, talking about the Samatata Foundation and the work that they're doing to help children in Senegal, Africa, and literally all across the world. We're glad to be joined by Binta Diop. I'm trying to say it as best as I can. She's the executive director of the Samatata Foundation. And we were sharing a little bit about, before the break about the atrocities that children have to face. And while our focus really is Africa, and we're talking about Africa, this is something that permeates internationally, globally.
And that's a very good point, because a lot of people think that whenever it goes to child labor, child begging, it's mostly in Africa. But to take an example of my country, in Senegal, because people over there, it's part of the culture that it's just rewarding and comforting for them to just give every day a little part of their money to a stranger. That I've seen, like, the phenomena of people migrating from Asia and coming to Senegal to beg. And you see little, Asian girls or little Asian children that are being sent by their parents to beg outside on the street or to work. Also in Asia, in Europe, even here in the US, you might not realize it, but sometimes you will see places where you see a little child that's supposed to go and do their homework, but yet they're forced to stay at their father or their mother's store doing errands, little errands and stuff like that. So I think it's just our duty as a nation and as human beings to really watch out for those children and give them at least the bare minimum. for their childhood.
We talked before the break about elected officials, and I want to know, I didn't forget about it. We talked about trying to bring elected officials into the realm of understanding what's going on, really getting their participation and support, whether it's through funding, legislation, and awareness. What's been the response of elected officials that you've spoken to in regards to bringing this matter before them?
Well, it's not very easy. I can tell you, it's not very easy because especially in my government right now in Senegal, we've made an online petition. Actually, I'm just urging everybody to go to www.samatatablog.org, SAMATATABLOG.org, to sign the petition to be given to African government leaders, so we can just make it official that there is no way that we can allow child labor and child begging in Africa. But it's going on little by little. I mean, they have the listening ear. But like I told you earlier, these children they don't have no voting powers. These are our little citizens. Usually, I would say right now, our country don't need them as much as they think, which I disagree with, but that's what a lot of people will say. But I think where we have been successful with is in participating with the Able United Nations, which was a campaign for peace document that was very well written. And then we've participated with that in 2010. And it was a very extensive document that outlined all the different types of abuse, but also campaigns for peace that we want to generate, like we want to incorporate in African countries. It was submitted to the United Nations. And that had a very good response. But also, the African governments right now, it's a little harder for us, but we'll keep on going until we get the answer we want.
Being here in the United States, is it somewhat frustrating when you look on television, hear the radio, and you hear most of our conversation, Iraq, and most of our conversation, Afghanistan, most of our conversation, Libya, and, you know, coming from Senegal and knowing that that's home, does it frustrate you a little to say, you know, you're missing something?
It happens to me quite a while. Sometimes, I mean, I will say that, but as much as I do say that the media is missing something, I return to myself and say maybe I haven't done enough. And that's my purpose in life, is to raise awareness, to let people know. That person will tell somebody else. And then at the end of the day, it will get to where it's supposed to be. But it has to start by me. So I'm just making it my mission to life to tell them, well, maybe you didn't hear about these children in Senegal. Let me tell you about them. If you give me 1 minute of your time, I'll do so. And I think that's where it really counts. That's where it counts.
And you've been sharing, and you've been getting the word out, and the foundation has been doing some things. And I know you're working to, you know, help these underprivileged children. Where's the foundation going now, and what are you guys up to these days?
Okay, right now we have a project that we're doing, and it's about trying to sign contracts with these parents in Africa, because a lot of time people don't see it like that, but these children are strictly abandoned because we don't have no welfare system where you can just say, I cannot afford to care for my child no more, I leave it to the government. These parents are sending them to those quote-unquote daughters. Now, what we try to do is try to get sponsors or people that will donate money. And what we'll do is we take that money to pay for a whole year of tuition for that child to go to normal education path. And then after that, we sign contracts with their parents that they have to follow. So if we pay for the child's education, you make sure you take care of the child. Then we support you every now and then. So at least we reunite the parents with their children, but also we try to get them off of the streets. The other project we have right now is trying to collect basic hygienic stuff, toothbrushes, Band-Aids, and, you know, soaps and flip-flops, just so they can wear shoes. Those are some of the projects we have. We have also interns and volunteers traveling to Africa and try to go over there and assist in our schools that we have over there, so they can just make sure they teach them skills for the older one, because some of them are 18, 16 years old. It's too late for them to really attend school.
When you talk about sending toiletries and things of that nature over there, Someone would say, why? What's the need? Explain the need and why there's such an incessant need for toiletries particularly.
Yeah, you know, I think here in the U.S., we can say that toiletries is like just a basic need. For the children, it's a luxury. It's simple as that. Somebody owns a toothbrush, they're going to cherish that toothbrush like it's a car that they own. Just because some of them will go about like 2 weeks without no shower. So if they have a bar of soap, it's going to last them, you know, and they can shower a little bit more often. And this is why I'm not so focused in changing the clothes and leaving the misery there. This is why we don't really try to fundraise for material stuff so much, but we just want them to be healthy. A Band-Aid will heal the wound, or like Neosporin, or like toothbrush and stuff like that. It saves the child. So people are coming up with packages, and that's why they need it, because it helps them stay healthy where they cannot even afford to go to the doctors. So we try to prevent as much as we can for them to get sick.
Say somebody's watching right now and they're saying, listen, I see you, I heard what, you know, Darren and they're talking about. How they get involved? How does someone get involved?
Now, what you can do, like I tell you, we have a sponsorship program. We have about 313 kids right now that needs people to step up for them. And times are hard. We're not asking for money for anybody. We just want them to help. It can be in any ways. You can just take a phone call. We give you a number for the school teacher. You call, we'll translate. We have translators available. Take a child, talk to them, tell them, I'm there for you. I'll send you soap. I'll send you lotion. So that child will know that there is something better out there. Then you start telling them. Next week you call them, tell them, okay, I want you to go to school. I'll help you. So they know. The other thing you can do is go online, www.samatatablog.org, and then you can become a tata or a tonto. Like I told you earlier, tata is a word in Wolof. It means auntie. Tonto means uncle. And what it means is that we want to step up as parents for these children where they don't have no parents. They're orphan while their parents are living. So you can be a volunteer. You can travel to Senegal and try to advocate for the foundation so they can help or teach them skills. Or you can sponsor a fundraising with your church, your school. Just collect soap or toothbrush or toothpaste for us. And
Let me take a quick break and come back and talk more about what is going on over in Senegal and really some places across the world that we haven't even touched on yet. But we want to let you know that there is a way that you can help and a way that you can take part. Again, you just stay with us. Coming up after the break, we'll give you that information again, in addition to sharing our final discussion.
Okay, now you ready? Now, just like I showed you.
Yeah.
Now push in the clutch and gently shift it in the first gear.
I remember,
Okay, that was good. Oh, honey, look this way, look this way. Honey, hit the gas a little bit more. Hit the gas. Oh. No, honey, put your hands on the wheel. Hey, honey, it's okay. You're doing great. You're driving. And once you just pull over right here. That's perfect. Brake.
Thank you, Dad.
Now, Krista, make sure you stay with her the whole time. She's new to the country. This is her first
Mom,
day. This is a brand
Mom,
new country.
Mom,
It's a whole different
it's gonna
culture.
be okay.
Now, make sure you stay with her the whole time. I'll be here right after school to pick you up.
Okay, Mom.
Okay, have fun. Bye-bye.
Bye. Ignore my mom. She's so annoying. She's totally freaking out about this whole thing. She freaks out about everything. She always does that. Ugh. Ignore my mom. So, first day in the wicked castle of doom. I mean, like, seriously, it's so boring. I don't know how they could put us through this, like, every single day. How many schools do you have in your village? None.
And welcome back to Perspectives. As always, we encourage you, if you see anything on the show that you want to talk about and respond back to, check us out on our Facebook page. All you got to do is go to Perspectives and you'll be able to see some past episodes of Perspectives. Also, our website, www.bronxnet.org. You'll be able to go to there and find out about BronxNet, but more particularly Perspectives, and find out what some of the past shows were. We encourage you to share in the discussion and find out ways that you can help and participate, because a little goes a long way. And as we were sharing just a little bit in the break, I was asking about how much when you have U.S. currency, obviously in international land, sometimes it could do a lot more. And so for us, the question would be, how much does it take, or how much does the dollar go for over in Senegal to be able to assist? And your answer was?
Yes, $1 right now is about 460 CFA money in Senegal. And that's almost what the children are required to bring every day, which is like, $1.50 or $1.25 a day. So in that sense, I was just explaining that it's so important for us to just see that that little bit can change somebody's life. For example, $30 will send a child for like 6 months or a whole year in school. So that's a big difference that you can do over there. So it's important to know.
Before we get out of here, make sure give us again the information so if people want to get in touch with you.
Yes, you can go to www.samatata, SAMATATA, blog.org. Or you can call me 646-881-2034. We are also on Facebook and Twitter. So that way you will be able to be part of the family. It's a big family.
It's a big family. It's a worthwhile family. Thank you so much for coming and sharing a little with us. And, of course, come back and update us. And, of course, we'll let you know how we can be of assistance.
I will definitely. Thank you very much.
All righty. Thank you so much for sharing with us. And we encourage you to share in the Samatata Foundation. As you said, a little can go a long way. Even hearing how $30 can put a kid through school for 6 months. And so it's always important to see how we are so blessed that we take the little things in life for granted. The toothbrush is a luxury in a place like Senegal. Things that we disregard and throw away, it's what somebody else really wants and somebody else really needs. And so the next time we think about complaining or being frustrated about the little small things in life, just know that there's somebody else who wishes that they had the small things because it would make all the difference in their life. That's my perspective. And that about wraps it up for this edition. For our producer, Curlew Burton, and the rest of us, we thank you for watching and sharing with us. And be sure to share your perspective with somebody else, because it just might make a difference in their life. Until next time we meet, I'm Darren Jaime. Take care.